Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, it's really always a nice time for me when at talking about running an Ethereum node. Because for me, I just see this as um, a way to also strengthen the network and also really be participants of the digitalization of the network itself, right? So yeah, running an Ethereum node, right? Simplifying node management and monitoring with Blockops Solutions, right? Yeah. Um, so what will be like our outline for today's workshop? So this will be like the first workshop we'll be having. We'll be having more workshops. More like this, like let's just call this maybe the second series or first series of the workshops we'll be having. One of the goals for us also at Blockops, right, is actually to um, not just create tools that enable people to run nodes, also educate the community, similar to also what Nodbridge is also doing, right? But Blockops is also like creating that tools, supporting the community also education-wise, to be able to run an Ethereum node. Not just an Ethereum node, obviously, right? But yeah, it's Ethereum node is quite like the focus at the moment for us also. Um, but yeah, with that skill set, you were also able to like run other nodes, right? With a little bit tweaks on its own end. Yeah, so our outline today will be talking about what an Ethereum node is, right? Which is like our focus for today, type of Ethereum nodes, why run an Ethereum node, requirements and rewards, right? Ethereum clients, execution and consensus, setting up nodes, right? Then we're going to have like a little demo, a very short demo about running an Ethereum node using Blockops, right? And also, I'll be sharing also my screen, also with, I'll be also showing a um, a real-time node, right? Running right now, right? So I'll be just showing the logs, right? It's already running, so I'll just show the logs and then also have another demo also, which I'll be showing, monitoring your node with Blockops, right? So yeah, just sit tight and enjoy the ride. So for questions, at the end of the whole presentation, we could now have questions and answer. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm David. I'm a node operator, right? I'm a blockchain developer, right? I've actually been in the space for a while, not too long. I'm just someone who is passionate about like this space, this Web3 space, and I really want to just see this space. I want to still be here in the next 10 years, and I want to see that this space, the Web3 space, has really gotten to its potential at that time also, right? And yeah, I'm also like I play basketball, and I love like to see other people coming into the Web3 space. Okay. Yeah, so Blockops. So at Blockops, among the other things we do, first, Blockops is a platform that simplifies Web3 infrastructure, right? So there's actually one of the issues. There are a lot of issues we usually have in the Web3 space, right? Unlike the Web2 space where you have tools, right, that have enabled a lot of developer or project owner to be able to build their projects in a really DevOps environment, right? So we're using all of those system way to really build products, right, in a very good process, right? We're also lacking those things in the Web3 ecosystem, which is like infrastructure, building things, right? Building products, right? Using like a DevOps perspective. We're lacking that kind of tools also in the Web3 ecosystem. And this is also where Blockops comes in, right? It's a platform that simplifies Web3 infrastructure by making it extremely easy for anyone to set up, maintain, and monitor their nodes infrastructure, right? So actually also running an Ethereum node or running a node is quite a hustle, right? It takes a lot of like different parts or different things in itself. So what's we're doing at Blockops is really to simplify these things. So it's just as easy as like ABCD. Like you could just plug and play. You could just log in, just the way you could log in into your like your, let's say your Instagram or your Twitter, like how easy it is, right? To kind of set up those kind of accounts. That's also what we're trying to do at Blockops. So as it's also easy for you to be able to set up those node, right, by just coming on the platform itself. So yeah, amongst like other things, this is also like one of the main focus in Blockops, right? Yeah, so we have like other the solutions, right, which is like API service, mission control. So I'll be also going through mission control and telescope. I'll be having like a very quick like show demo on that end. Yeah, so you could also sign up like to also do like a beta testing, right? Using this link here, just go to beta.blockops.network/ right? You could just also sign up for that. And yeah. Yeah, so what's this is like the topic of today. So what's an Ethereum node? Yeah, so I want to first say these things are not rocket science, right? As much as I think I have a question. Okay, thank you. So yeah, so these things are not rocket science. Running an Ethereum node is not rocket science. That's the first thing I want to say, because I've get to converse with a lot of persons, and one of the first fears for them is, oh, it's a lot of, it's fact, they just feel like it's impossible, right, from their own perspective. So first thing is, this is not rocket science. It's as easy as um, installing a software on your laptop. Literally, that's how what it is. So if you have ever installed a software on your laptop, like if you have ever done that, any software, I think you should be able to also run an Ethereum node that way. Like with that skill set, you could have the mind mentality to be able to also do this. So it's not rocket science. So yeah, what's an Ethereum node? An Ethereum node is a critical component of Ethereum network, maintaining a copy. So basically, Ethereum itself is a network, right? And it's a distributed network. So you have different copies of so Ethereum itself is a blockchain, is a flavor of a blockchain, or is a type of a blockchain, right? And this blockchain, right, is called Ethereum, right? And then in this Ethereum, right, it's called, or it's a type of a blockchain called like a public blockchain, or you could also see it as a permissionless blockchain, right? And then the ledger or the database is distributed, right, within the network, right? And then every participant of the network maintain a copy of the database. So we could call it the database, or you could say the blockchain, right? So literally, because we all know a blockchain is literally just a database, right? A distributed database or distributed ledger, right? That's one first core part of what the blockchain is. So an Ethereum node is a critical component of the Ethereum network, maintaining a copy of the blockchain, validating transaction, and participating in consensus, right? So just get this as a definition, right? Let's get this as a definition. Say a piece of software that connects to the Ethereum network, right? So yeah, Ethereum node is a piece of software that connects to the Ethereum network. So one first mindset I want you guys to get from this part is just get these concepts, the piece by pieces, like just get them. As we move forward, you'll be able to now plug everything together, and I should be able to explain all of this. So we have a piece of software that connects to the Ethereum network. That's one first thing, right? Validate transaction and blocks. Second thing, store the states of the blockchain. That's another thing, right? So as we move, right, I'll be showing you guys all of these things connects together. So, but just for a very quick explanation here, Literally, Ethereum node is a computer running some set of softwares, right? So once these computers, it's just a computer running some set of softwares. This computer is connected to the Ethereum network, right? And then this set of softwares, right, are then set to do what they are supposed to do, validating transaction, and validating transaction and blocks. That's adding blocks to the blockchain, to the Ethereum blockchain, storing the state of the blockchain, right? So this set of softwares also we enable you to be able to store the state of the blockchain as you running the node, which you'll be having like the copy of that blockchain on your own computer, right? Yeah. Yeah. So we have like few types of Ethereum node. So see this as the different flavors, or yeah, we could just say the different flavors of how to set up these nodes or how these nodes are being set up. So you have the full node, you have the light node, the archive node. These are like the three main kind of node, right? Three main kind of like Ethereum node. The full node is yeah, the full node is actually storing like all of them are also storing the blocks. They are storing a copy of the blockchain, which is the Ethereum network, right? So the full node is storing the entire blockchain, right? So, but why it's called a full node is because it's not storing from the compared to like what the archive node. So it's not storing from the genesis, like the entire the entire data, right? It's just storing some not just the header, right? So it's not storing like the entire blockchain, like the entire, it's just, let's just see that it's kind of merge these things, right? And store a link, or see it from that perspective, as that stores a link to that bigger data, right? So that's like the full node, right? So it's still like the whole data, but under the hood, it's kind of just makes it more smaller. That's the idea, right? That's just basically the idea. So light node also similar, right? It also makes it more like smaller also, right? So it's still like the whole the data of the blockchain itself, but it makes it more smaller, right? Which is what is being stored. Then the archive node is the entire chain, like everything, like every piece is being stored on the archive type of node. And obviously, that also will now tell us with the type of storage, like the storage that will be required to store this kind of data. For the full node, you need approximately like 2 terabytes. Similar light node, approximately like I think this should be 2 terabytes here. Sorry. Yeah, so yeah, approximately, right? For archive node, you need like approximately 12 terabyte thereabout, right? And same time for like a full node is a little bit not longer compared to the archive node. For light node, it's very short. You could even do it for like, you could have your node sync for like even 5 hours, 6 hours, depending on your network. For archive node, it takes a long time, right? Just imagine depending on your network also, right? Sometimes it might take up to like a day or a day plus or 2 days, depending on how fast your network is, like how fast your your bandwidth is. That's the word, right? Yeah, so validator node, phone node. I won't really go into that much. So, but this like 3 main node I want you guys to really focus on. Yeah, this is one question a lot of persons will keep asking. Why run an Ethereum node, or why run a node, right? At this point, most of the developers, right, when building your project, right, most times you use a third party, right, service, right, to access the blockchain, right? So, but when you are able to run your node, you can actually by running your own node, you don't need to rely on a third-party service to interact with the blockchain. This eliminates the need to trust external infrastructure as you have direct access to the Ethereum blockchain data. Yeah, you actually can you're sure of your own of the data, right? For instance, today if you're building a dApp, you're either using Infura, Alchemy, RPC or stuff, right? So running your own node gives you that space, give you that liberty to play. You run your own node, give you that liberty to not just rely on a third party. You have sovereignty of your infrastructure, right? You know the secure, you know how secure, right? That infrastructure is because you're literally the one running it, right? Compared to when you have it with a third party. I'm not also saying that a third party is not secured, right? Yeah. Also, you have contributing to the decentralization, right? So just like I said earlier on, running your own node, you're also making the network stronger, better. As of today, sorry, not today. With the last time I checked, especially the Ethereum network, you have a lot of node operators in a particular region. Like 30% of Ethereum node is run in a particular region, right? That's not true decentralization. Right? Decentralization is you should have a balanced number of these nodes running in different parts of the world, different regions, right? Yeah, it sounds almost impossible, but it's possible, right? So by running your own node, you are contributing to decentralization of the network. And how does that happen, right? The more persons you have in the network, right? The more persons you have in the network validating transaction, the better the network is because you're now you're making the better the network is, right? Because the more persons from different part of the world or from different geographical points, right? It makes the network better. It makes the network stronger because you don't have like some certain number of persons who can also have decisions, right? On some certain things on the network, right? But when you have more persons from different part of the world, right? It makes the network decentralized more, right? Yeah. So yeah, earning rewards. This is also one reason also you should run a node for you to earn a reward, right? Any reward as a validator. So if you run a node as an Ethereum node validator, right, which is you also stake 32 Ether, you also get to earn reward. As of today, the total the total reward you get will be around I think 5%, 4 to 7%, or let's just say 5% thereabout of your Ether staked, right? So you also get to earn rewards. So we'll also move towards like the rewards. I will be talking more on also like how the rewards is also being distributed or how you also get to earn these rewards. Yeah, so we also have this resilience. So with your own node, you can transact and participate in the Ethereum network without relying on third party, just like what I was also saying. So you can actually you mustn't rely on like a third party. You can send transactions to your own node, right? To be able to validate those transactions and its likes, right? So all of these are possible. So this gives you full autonomy of interacting with the blockchain, right? You don't have that latency, right? You don't have that, you don't have that latency. It gives you complete autonomy. It gives you full access to interact with the blockchain, not relying on third party, right? Third party tomorrow can just say, oh, there's something happening with the server and X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I know that might not happen, but yeah, there's possibility of that happening also. Running an Ethereum node, the requirements and rewards, right? So there are few requirements, right, for you to also run these nodes. Just like when you want to set up a computer, like you want to set up a computer for a particular task, right? Sometimes you'll notice that, oh, you need a kind of computer, right? You need a kind of a laptop or a desktop to be able to run that task, similar to running an Ethereum node. That's also it. It's not like there is the computer has to be so much high spec, right? There are just few requirements also. So one of the requirements is software requirement. So you need a couple of number of softwares, right, to run an Ethereum node. You need hardware, right? Also, you need to stake 32 Ether. Yeah, and then rewards. So you also need to get like a wallet where your rewards will be going to. So for softwares, so Ethereum runs, so for softwares, you need to run what they call the Ethereum client, the Ethereum client softwares. So they are like two type of two clients you'll be running, or three per se. You have the execution client, the consensus client, and the validators client. These are like the three softwares you'll be running, you'll be installing, right, on your computer, right, to run this. This client also runs on Linux, Mac OS, even Windows. Yes. So these clients, they're not software. Just imagine them as softwares, as you probably the way you kind of install, let's say, your Windows, right? Or let's just say you're installing any software you use on your computer, right? So that's similar to, on how also you get to install these softwares, right? Yeah, then also you also need to generate. So there's a software also you need to run to generate some keys, right? You need to also generate some keys. So you run like the deposit CLI, or there are some tools also that enables you to run, to generate these keys, right? Because these keys will actually be like your ID, right? So let's just see these keys as like your ID or your keys, right? That helps you to also like that secure your staking, or let's just see this case also like your MetaMask addresses, right? That's so I'm just trying to build that picture also, right, for you, right? So but literally this case is actually what you use to be able to stake. When you want to stake, these are the keys you will use to stake your Tether. So for hardware requirements, you need a minimum of like a 4-core CPU, right? From 4-core upward, right? So let's just say for like a Core i3, Core i5 computer works fine, right? So which at most they must have like 4-core upwards, right? That's it for the CPU. For the memory RAM, you need about like 16 gig RAM, right? This is like recommended minimum requirements, right? So you need like a 16 gig RAM upward. It can be 32 and X, Y, and Z, right? For the storage, right? So we talked about the different nodes. So for the storage, you need like a 2 terabytes, approximately like 2 terabytes and above. You could also have like 4 terabytes and above. So about 2 terabytes at least for the minimum requirements. For your data speed, right? Yeah, having 25 megabyte per second is really, really good. Yeah, so but you could also, if it goes down to even 15, it's still not bad. But let's put 15 as like the point. But 25 should be like what you want to have, right? So you have like a stable node interaction or validating transaction, right? Yeah, so also you also need a data that is not capped, or possible like you should have like a data bandwidth of like 3 terabytes per month, right? But to be on the safer side, have a data bandwidth that is not capped, like it should be unlimited, right? Oh yeah, so this is also what you want to need, also what you need from a hardware perspective and internet perspective. Also what is not here is obviously you need an internet, like, sorry, obviously you need electricity, right? So you need an electricity to be running 24/7, right? Yeah. So you also need 32 ETH, right? You need 32 ETH. I think this is also one point. Maybe in another series we'll be talking on the solutions also, right? That that um, are actually out there solving these issues of 32 ETH, right? It's actually a lot of money because I guess an ETH right now is like $3,000 thereabout. So we know it's a lot of money. So there are a lot of solutions right now also trying to mitigate this, right? At least allowing a lot of persons coming in, breaking that barrier of, oh, I don't have 32 ETH to start. So there's a lot of solutions, and through the Blockops also platform, right? There are solutions also that enable that, right? One of it is called the DVT, right? Where you can also have like a friends, you could have friends who also are interested in running this. You guys can pull up your ETH together and you can run that, right? The other one I could just talk a little about is also Lido, which also have like an initiative called Lido CSM that allows you to have like 2 ETH, and then they delegate some the remaining 30 ETH to you, right? Which also ETH also varies depending on the activities on the network. So, but yeah, in general, you need 32 ETH to run, as a validator node. Yeah, rewards, it's about 5%, right? 5%. So yeah, talking about like the clients, right? As I said, you need like 3 clients. Yeah, but the validators client is mostly attached to like also the consensus client, right? So what's the execution client? So you need like 3 clients. You have the execution client, the consensus client, and the validators client. So yeah, it's like the validators client is like go together most times, right? With the consensus client. But it's also a software that you run. So the execution client, these clients are responsible for processing transaction, running the Ethereum virtual machine, storing the current state of the network, as well as ensuring its consistency, right? Basically, this client also like one core thing, right, of the client, right? It's actually that software that also downloads, that helps to download the copies of this data from the network, right? It's also that copy, is that also that software that has the Ethereum virtual machine, right? It's also that software that helps to store the current state of the network, right? As well as ensuring its consistency, right? So it just has its rules, right, on these softwares. And this software comes in different varieties. They all do the same thing, the execution client. They come in different varieties. I think you could just see these softwares as, for instance, when you try to install a Windows, right? You have like Windows Pro, you have Home, right? So that's like what you want to see these softwares as, right? They have like their own few features, right, that makes them better or makes them different from other, but they literally do the same thing, right? They are all execution clients. We have Nethermind, we have Bezu, we have Aragon, we have Get, right? These are like few of them. I think also we have Vet, which is also another one. So for consensus clients, these clients are responsible for reaching agreements on the order of transaction and adding new blocks to the blockchain. So in the Ethereum ecosystem or in the Ethereum network, right, it's a decentralized network. So there have to be an agreement, because everybody should not just come and add data, right? So there's this consensus client is also what enable that agreement, right? Okay, you have to have the Twitter, right? You are able to validate transaction, right? You are able to add new blocks. If thus you have already staked the Twitter, right? And before now, Ethereum uses what they call proof of work, right? But right now it's proof of stake. So what's proof of work? So it's basically you have, which is also what the Bitcoin network use, right? The proof of work, where you have a lot of participants in the network, right, trying to solve a puzzle, and the first person that is able to solve this puzzle, which is the work, like trying to solve this puzzle, will be able to validate the next transaction, and in so doing, they are able to get the reward of that transaction they validated, right? But Ethereum actually transitioned from that point to proof of stake. One of the main reasons is because for you to have proof of work, it requires really, really high computer energy, right? So it needs you to get like high spec computer, right? So that's also not environment friendly, right? So that's also one of the reasons why the transition to proof of stake. So for proof of stake right now is basically just like we talked about the requirements. You have the requirement and you just take the Twitter, right? And then in the consensus mechanism of Ethereum, there's what they call the round-DAO. It's like a mechanism that selects validator in random, right? So it selects validators in random, and then as long as you have staked the Twitter, it selects the validators in random, and then you are called to validate these transactions. Yeah. Execution client here. So I just spoke. We just have like different type of this execution client: Nethermine, Bezu, Aragon, Get. So these are like language also they are written in. Nethermine in C, Bezu in Java, Aragon in Rust, Get in Go, right? Just like I said, they have like their few features, right? That makes them not really like better to the other. Depending on what you want to achieve, right? They just have, but they do the same thing. They literally do the same thing. So for consensus clients, we have different type of them. Also similar to just like the execution client, you have Lodestar, Nimbus, Tiku, Lighthouse, Prism, right? Also, they do the same thing. Just like I said, they just have like different features that makes them a little bit interesting, right? Yeah, depending on what's just giving you different varieties. And yeah, just also to add, one of the reasons also for having different nodes, different varieties of this node is because of bugs. So imagine right now, a lot of people use, or a lot of node operators use gets, right? Which was obviously like one of the first execution clients. So, but let's assume, right, there is a bug in that software, right? There's a bug in that software. It means it will actually affect everybody in the network. But in the case now where you have different clients, right? And then everybody is using different clients, not just one client, right? So that's one point of failure is now breach, right? So this is also one of the reasons why we should have more different clients. And also for people also who are like, who want to start running these nodes, right? It's also advisable to like run with these clients that are just coming up, or these new clients, right? Because you're having a lot of persons running these gets. So if you now have like 80% of the participants in the network running a particular client, right? And then let's assume there is a bug in this client. You literally, it means it will actually affect all of these 80% participants in the network, and as so doing, it also affects the whole network itself. So, but when you have different persons running different clients, right? That's also like a set of persons or a different persons running different clients. It's also strengthening the network, right? So this is also one of the reasons why several clients. So we are also looking out for people who have like this skill set. There's still room to build different clients. There might be reasons why you want to do them, but I think there are still rooms for us to have more clients, right? So in consensus client, we have the Lodestar, Nimbus, Tico, Lighthouse, Prism, right? Yeah. Setting up your node. There are different ways you could set up these nodes, right? So one of the things I spoke about with the requirements, right, is the bare metal. So you could also set up these nodes on a virtual machine, right? You could use AWS or GCP, that's Google, right? You could use any of these cloud service, right, to set up. And that's the good thing about what we do also at Blockops, right? Unlike if you go to all of this platform, you could just, if you're not like an infrastructure person or you're not like a DevOps person, you could just see some technologies that might not be compelling to you. So, but on Blockops, it's just clicks, and under the hood, we're doing all of those things for you, right? So you just clicking buttons, just like, let's say you are what software? Yeah, let's just say you are trying to set up, Instagram, WhatsApp, or Twitter. It's just click some button, follow the instruction. It's as simple as ABCD, I could tell you, right? So that's also how the tools also Blockops actually we have right now. Yeah, so you have virtual machine, right? That's this is also one way to like set up your node. Cloud-based validator service. So yeah, this service streamline the process of setting up, managing Ethereum node, like Lido, Stakewise, Offer. Yeah. So yeah, so they are like also systems also, right? Similar to what we're also doing now. So they are under the hood. There's also what we have for that on Blockops, right? So you have cloud-based validator service. They literally do this staking. They literally do the whole node setup also for you, right? So you could also have that. We also have that in Blockops. So for me, this is like one of the interesting one for me. Like I'm sorry, I'm trying to be biased. So but yeah, for me, this is like one of the ones I love, right? The bare metals, the hardware, right? Where you actually have sovereignty to your hardware. But yeah, this comes with a lot of costs, a lot of security, right? It comes with its own headache, but it gives you the power, right, to do what you want to do. Yeah, where you self-host these computers, right? You self-host this node, right? This is basically plug and plug. So you have what they call the DApp node. So the DApp node also is like a bare metal, which has which just kind of in a box have all of these components you need, right? Already pre-made for you, right? For you to be able to like set up these nodes faster. So this similar, right? You could also do the same thing yourself, right? You could get a computer out there. So let me just show this. Let me disconnect this quickly. So it just gets a feeling. So this is just like one, right? So you just get a computer out there, right? And then have all of these components, right? Just like what we spoke in the other slide, where you have like the 2 terabytes, the RAM itself. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah. So you have the 2 terabyte, the RAM itself, the CPU, right? All in this box, right? It can just be like what I just showed right now it's just a computer, right? A desktop itself, a mini desktop itself. So you can all have all of this and set these things yourself, right? So this is also another way of setting up your node. How your validator earn ETH? Yeah, I'm very sure a lot of persons, most persons, right? This is like one part they really want to see, right? So this is like a breakdown of how your node like earn ETH, right? So you have attestation, that's on the consensus client. You have block proposal, that's on the consensus client. You have sync committee, that's also on the consensus client. Slashing reward, consensus client. But in total, all of these rewards, right, end up with on 5% or 7% or 4% yearly, right? So this is really what it is. Then you have also priority fees, MEV rewards. Yeah, obviously MEV rewards is also when you have like that set of softwares also, or so this set of softwares also do some like so for instance, for a lot of persons who are like doing arbitrage trading, they want to have like a fast validation of transaction, right? and they want to pay more, right, for that transaction to happen. So like, yeah, you could have some set of softwares, right? Or there are some set of relayers or persons who have some set of softwares who look out for those kind of transactions and try to validate them. So if you run these softwares also on your client, you'll be able to like get these rewards as you get to validate those transactions. So yeah, this also all add up to approximately 7% or approximately 7% yearly. Yeah, so quickly now, I'll just be doing a demo of spinning up an Ethereum node on the VM using Blockops. But before I do this, I would quickly just show what it looks like to, okay. So yeah, okay, I will do this, right? Then after this, I'll then show also like how also these nodes are being run in a bare metal, right? So yeah, do this right now. So you just please let me know if you could still see my screen. I'm showing Blockops dashboard. Welcome week. Can you see that, please? Okay, I want to believe that's like a yes. Okay, so I'll just play this and then we get. So I'll play it like twice so as you just get to follow. Okay, so I'll just play it one more time. Okay, so that's yeah. So that's like setting up a node also, right, using Blockops. So quickly, I just want to share like setting up these nodes also on a bare metal, right? So currently now I have like a node running on a bare metal. So I'll just share my screen on that end. So I'll just do this. I'll stop sharing here and share the screen on the other end. I'll start sharing from this other end. Okay. So I guess my screen is visible, right? Just confirm it is. Is the screen visible? Okay, thank you. So just like I said, this is just this is the execution client running right now, right? So this is on Holisky testnet. This is the execution client running, literally. Also, you have the consensus clients here. So for the execution client, I'm running Nethermine, right? Here, I'm running Nimbus, right? For the validators client, I'm also running Nimbus, right? So just like I said, the validator is kind of also together with the consensus. But yeah, this is also like the validators client running. So also when I was saying you just need like running these softwares, right? You're basically running these softwares. What I mean by that is I just need to, so you just some set of softwares you're running. So for instance, if you just want to set up this yourself, this is like a documentation also from Nodbridge. You just follow these commands, right? And you're able to set this. So for this is like for the, so let's go up step here. So you have like this is like a command. So you follow this command, right? You follow like this documentation. You are able to like set up your execution client. After that, you follow the consensus. Yeah, this guy. So this is for Lighthouse, or there's a Nimbus, which is what I'm doing. You'll also be having your validators, consensus client set up. The same thing also for your validation. So it's just basically you running some set of softwares, literally. And this software is obviously you'll be running commands. So, but if you're not good with this, like you don't want to do all of this, and this is the real reason why Blockops is there for you, right? You don't want to run, you don't want to like, you're not, maybe when there are some persons, they don't want to see anything in their terminal. Like they just want to have like these things. So Blockops, like you just go, you see a very beautiful UI, you click, and you have these setups running for you, right? So what does it also look like on the, where you have like all of these nodes set up, right? You have the beacon chain. So this is like the beacon chain. Let me confirm. I don't know why this is, I'm supposed to be active. Okay, awesome. So yeah, so I've actually been off for a while, right? But if you notice, I have this attestation right here, right? And this is green. So what does this just means is that, yeah, I'm being rewarded for attestating so some blocks also, right? Or probably, yeah, validating transaction, right? So yeah, this is up right now. So yeah, some people will like see, you see this right now, you're like, okay, why is this reducing? So anytime you go offline, you are being penalized for that, and you're just being penalized for very, very small. I think like this is the amount, very, very small ETH, like very, very small of it. So it's different from you being penalized when you are trying to play the system, right? So there are different penalties. So, but that's like not part of our talk today, right? But yeah, there are also documentation also out there that gives you more insight on that. Yeah, so I'll just stop sharing from this screen and then come back to this screen. Okay, so let's assume you have set up all of these nodes, right? One thing you want to do is to be able to monitor this node. Just like for instance, let's assume you are doing this on a bare metal on your own. You want to be able to monitor this node. You want to know what is happening, right? And before I also move towards that, one other thing is once you have set this node up, all what you just need to keep doing is maintenance. You won't be the one trying to come, oh, I'm being called to validate the transaction and there's something you need to do. No, the software is set to do all of those things. But you need to now keep those softwares up to date. You need to maintain your computer. You need to make sure you're not offline. You need to make sure that all of these things are in order, right? So, but you need a way to monitor these things, right? You need a way to make sure to know that, okay, I need to make an update. My node is down or something has happened, right? All of those things, right? So you need like a monitoring system, and this is also what we have in at Blockops, right? So Blockops also have a monitoring tool that enables you to like monitor these machines or this infrastructure, right? So I'll be doing a demo right now on that end. So you just get to see, I'll be playing that for you to see. Sorry, so it's also called Telescope, right? So that's the word, that's the name of this tool. It's called Telescope. So it's kind of, you kind of look into your machine. That's the idea, right? So it gives you that zoom, right? So you could look through your machine and see what is happening. So yeah, so I'll just play this and go. Okay, so I'll play this one more time again. Just one moment. So just so you probably finished. Okay. So so, yes. Thank you. This is yeah. So yeah, this is like the end of the first series for this workshop. So like I said, there are ways right now also that solve some challenges. For instance, there's Twitter, right, where we have DVT, right? We have Lido CSM, we have like Rocket Pool, right? So these are like people coming up with different ways of solving this 32-HR challenge. So where you have for DVT, it's a system also that enables different people. Just see it as a multi-sig system, right? Where you have, oh, 4, 3 persons are able to sign a transaction. before those transaction works, right? But yeah, it's just also one way of solving the Twitter issue or challenge, redundancy, right? Then you have Rocket Pool, which also gives you leverage to have like come with just the idea is you have like 8 Ether and then they delegate the many Ether to you, right, for you to be able to run. And then you have Lido CSM, which is still in its testing phase, right? The idea also there is you have like 2 Ether, depending on the traffic of the network. You have like 2 Ether and then they delegate 30 Ether to you, right? Amongst every other, like there's just a lot of ways the community, the staking community also are coming up with, right, to solve these few challenges also, right, in the ecosystem. Also for Nodebridge, right, the idea also in Nodebridge is it's just a community. We're trying to see also where we have persons who are really, really interested in running these things. So we try to do education, see how we have support, connect persons to the right resources, right, and point them to what they need to do. Also, also hold their hands and say, okay, we can support you. Also, consultants, right, on that end will tell you, okay, this is what is visible and what will be good for you to do, right? So that's also what we do at Nodebridge. So, but education is like one core part of it itself.